Perfect. Um, okay. So, all right. What's up, folks? This is Matt, and welcome to a very interesting video. So today I am doing my tier list for some of my all-time for the animated movies of 2021. So the majority of these movies that I have seen, I have not seen all of them, but I have seen the majority of these, and I am putting them in order of which I've seen them. Now, of course, I went to the theaters to see some of these, and then some of these I sort of stayed out of due to the fact that that these movies are practically just came out this year, and 2021 was filled with some good ones and some very mediocre ones at the same time. So I'm very excited to rank these, and hopefully it'll be fun for everybody. So without further ado, let's get to it. All right, so the first one I have is Adam's Family 2. So Adam's Family 2, in my opinion, is a sequel that really, like like some of people said, falls along the trail of Hotel Transylvania. And I think Adam's Family really tries to do that. The sequel itself is a little weak in some spots, but still is a pretty fun movie nonetheless. So I'm going to put Adam's Family 2 B tier. Yeah, Adam's Family 2 is going in that B tier. Then we have Boss Baby Family Business. Okay, as I said, Boss Baby, not a bad movie, but still, I just did not agree with it going that lower. You know, I might put in that lower C tier. It's not bad, but I high D tier. Let's go with that. Next up, we have is Clifford the Big Red Dog 2021. Okay, so I was afraid for Clifford to be a little bit rambunctious because this is a franchise and an IP that really, if you tick off the wrong person, they will typically kind of fire back. And this film really does some justice with the franchise, but still, it's a little cheesy. It's a fun little movie, and I think they really did Clifford really well. There is a lot of great moments, but then those moments they turn into where it gets very awkward, and a lot of these what we call Gen Z moments where it's like, "Hey girl," and hashtag so. But still, it is a very warm-hearted movie. And I kind of cried a little bit during the film, and I really think it really deserved its place. So I'm gonna put it low A tier because it's just that good. Then we've got Encanto. Definitely Encanto's going in that S tier. A very well put together film from the minds of the same people who did Moana. Now, I mean, personally, this Encanto is really such a great film. I really loved it to bits. A really, really superb film from Disney. And I think it was really one of those animated films that ends out the year on a high note, and I really loved it that way. Um, Now, of course, Sing 2 is not in this list because I typically do not. When I saw the first Sing, it was very, very weak, and I just did not want to put myself through that trouble. Next up, we have is Luca. Okay, so Luca, I kind of have my doubts on because, again, this is a movie made by Pixar. A lot of people really like it. I'm on that camp of where it's okay, but it's not it ain't that special, but it still is something good nonetheless. So I'm putting Luca. hmm, I'm putting it above Adam's Family in that B tier just because, again, I'll tell you what, I'm putting it in that A tier right behind Clifford because Luca is not bad, but still just screams stranger danger to me. Next, we have Missiles versus Machines. Of course, Missiles versus Machines is going to be in that S tier. Highly in that S tier. It's going to be right behind Encanto, but Encanto is very well written, and I really like the movie itself. But I'm putting Mitchell's versus Machines in that S tier, right above Encanto, because I know Mitchell's versus Machines is that type of animated movie where it's good, but then there are moments where it gets a little awkward. but it still is pretty good. All right, so next up we have is Peter Rabbit 2: The Runaway. A sequel that really kind of diviates itself out from a typical hybrid movie. And again, it's Peter Rabbit. Eh, it's an average sequel with a little bit of an average story. I'm putting it right there in C here. Next, we have Raya and the Last Dragon. Now, this Disney movie, again, the world building could have been way better. And the reason I say quote unquote way better was because Raya and the Last Dragon, I love how they brought in cultures from Southeast Asia, which is a very, very cool thing. Kind of like in Kano, this film really shines where it really does. Animation wise and story wise is where it really shines. Now, given the fact that Raya was very unique, it still does not have that charm in Kano as on that S tier level. But for all intents and purposes, I'm putting Raya and the Last Dragon in that A tier right between Luca and Clifford. And just so you kind of understand why. Okay, so next up we have is Ron's Gone Wrong. This happens to be one of my all-time favorite movies of 2021. It is such a light-hearted story with a lot of great emotion. And there were moments in this movie where it really sets the stage for such an awesome climax. And of course, the ending. The ending is superb. But for all purposes, I am putting Ron's Gone Wrong in that S tier. Because again, this is a film that really stood its ground where it kind of sets itself at. I think that really Ron's Gone Wrong deserves to be in S tier because it's just that kind of level of movie that really makes it special. But then again, you do have that great sincerity. But I'm gonna change my mind, put Luca right there in that B tier, right above Amsterdam, right there. Next, we have Space Jam: A New Legacy. So, if you've watched some of the YouTubers' videos, you say this is probably one of the worst reviewed animated movies of 2021. Um, this is quite a movie that really is bad, but it's good. The reason I say that is because Space Jam 2 is this continuation of the Space Jam world, in that it really is very interesting. I'd say it's very interesting because I personally think Space Jam's not bad, but of course it could have been a little bit better in so many ways. But just for the instinct purposes, I'm gonna put Space Jam upper C tier. It's not bad, but it could have been way better. Then we have Spirit Untamed. So Spirit Untamed is a movie that I have reviewed on my channel. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. I personally consider this movie to be very, very special. It is very tone deaf, as some reviewers have pointed out, but this film is very much well deserved to be recognized. Um, it really is a special movie. It's kind of like Ron's Gone Wrong. It is a very heartfelt movie, and kind of like Clifford the Big Red Dog in that sort of pattern. But it still kind of falls flat in places where it shouldn't. Besides that, it is a film that really kind of sets itself where it should, and that personally is very special. So I'm gonna put Spirit Untamed probably right about just below Raya. Well, I take that back. I'm putting Spirit probably upper C or lower B tier. So lower B tier right there. And just because, it is a good movie, but it could have been way better than it should. All right, so next up is Tom and Jerry, the movie. I love the animations. I love the animation with this film. So classic, like Who Framed Roger Rabbit classic, but it falters in places where it should. And Warner Brothers has had this string of animated movies lately where they're good, but they're not at the potential where I want them to be. but still, it is not bad. So I'm a very wise person, and I'm gonna put this right here in the upper C tier. Next, we have Vivo. Well, Vivo being this film made by Lin-Manuel Miranda, I really consider this movie to be somewhat of an interesting pick because, Sony Pictures has really done themselves like Mitchell's versus the Machines, but not enough to actually. Well, I'm gonna move just so I won't get people mad. I'm putting Luca right there in the lower mid A tier, but Vivo is at upper B tier because is a pretty good movie nonetheless, but not enough to actually consequentially make it good. And a lot of things really kind of tie in itself, but like literally, this is a film that is unique, but it could have been way better. It's insane in itself. And then, of course, the last one I have right here is Wish Dragon. Movie theatrical wise, Wish Dragon is unique. Um, it is kind of that blend of Aladdin with Chinese culture, which is very unique, kind of like Raya, but this one is a little weaker than, Raya. But still, it is not bad. I'm gonna put this. hmm, I'm gonna put this in this B tier right here, right in between Abs. Well, I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna put Wish Dragon right about in the in this mid B tier right here with Abs Family because Abs Family 2 is a little bit better than Wish Dragon was. I personally just thought Wish Dragon was a little weaker in spots. And I personally just see this movie as being very good. But I do have one more surprise that I'm going to put in here. So give me 1 second. I'm going to pause this so I can. Okay, so I actually add in one more here, two more here, and these are ones that I have seen. Is South Park post COVID, and let me tell you, with South Park being coming back into the mainstream when the Omicron unpleasantness came, there was really something unique about about this special. So first thing is the first part, South Park post COVID. Um, a very unique part of it is that I like it as it is. Um, so I would put South Park post COVID part one in the A tier, and then part two is where it really catches itself up. And I really personally liked it. And I'm putting that in the S tier. Actually, let's put them both in S tier because I really think this is a movie that this is a special that yeah, let's put it in that A tier. But yeah, so yeah, sorry I had to switch out a lot of stuff, but this is basically my 2020 personal 2021 anime movie rankings list because now this is all my personal opinion. I do not specifically, if you have your own little opinion, I respect it, but this is my personal little movie list, so don't judge me. Some other movies, including My Little Pony: New Generation, I didn't put in this list, or Sing 2, because of the fact that I'm not going to see Sing 2, and I do not plan on it. But the rest of this movies I have seen so far in 2021 is kind of my little, my little personal list. But yeah, so if you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to leave in the comment. I'll see you later. And I will see you in 2022.